Hello guys and welcome to another battle report. This is 2500 points with my Saurian Ancient versus Sylvan Elf. And we're playing hold the line scenario to keep the center and the normal deployment and to move straight into it. We're all up for terrain and I'm very happy because I think a problem with 9th age is that terrain tends to land not in center, but like out of the focus on the main battlefield. But this time it ended up very good, I think. So that was very nice. But carry on, let's start with my list. From left I got a unit of 2 spearbacks, then a unit of 5 skink hunters with javelin, then a unit of 2 swarms, and a big boss of 32 Saurian warriors with spear, full command and war standard. In there I got a skink chief with the fire ring, and also my general with a 2-up armor, and another scarvet with the +1 strength sword. Next to them I got another swarm unit and a cayman unit, 8 of them with full command and halberds. Behind my line I got 2 Triscutuses. One of them got the snake altar and one of them got the last cannon. Then I also got a Stegosaurus with the roar to help boost my unit in combat. Also I got a champion upgrade, and so he got the spear from Path of Wild, as well as I don't remember, Beast Within I think it is. It doesn't really matter. But that's my left flank. For my other flank I got 10 skink with the bow and skirmish upgrade. In that unit I got an skink chief BSB, a shield on him, so a 4-up save for him, shield and light armor, as well as a skink priest carrying the scroll. Got Path of Heaven with the spell of thunderstorm and the blizzard spell. I also got a salamander and a unit of 2 units of skink hunter. One of them carries a skink chief, and finally my last Triscutus. So for my opponent, this is actually the first time he tries out 9th age. So if you are an experienced Sylvan Elf player, please handle some advice for him, how he should play it and build list and so on. It's very welcome. And this list start with a eagle, a unit of crystal knights, a unit of 5 Heath Rider. Both of those units have vanguarded up. A unit of 5 Pathfinder, 10 archers with black arrows, 10 more archer with black arrows. In there he got a level 4, got a scroll playing the Path of White, and he got the Phoenix Rises, Guiding Hand, Blessing, and Arcane Dissolution on them. Then he got in that forest, who is his own forest he decided to deploy there, 30 Forest Guard with a BSB, and then a Lord on a Dragon. I don't know his kit, pretty mundane equipment on him I think. Then a unit of 5 Pathfinder scouted out in the forest, and as well as a Tree Father. On his other flank he got another eagle, 10 more archer with black arrows. Then he got a unit of 3 Crystal Knights and a unit of 5 more Heath Riders who have already vanguarded up. Well, since he had such a fast moving army, I pretty much dropped a lot of my stuff when he only got like fast moving stuff remaining. So I ended up getting the first turn, and that's why he was pretty much conservative with his vanguarding unit. They are so fast anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Basically what I did, I pushes up my Saurs behind that fence to give them cover, put the Cayman on the hill because I think the toughness 4 and 3-up armor, because I gave them light armor, would protect them, and it also gives me opportunity to move up the Stegosaur to 5 dice the spear on his dragon, and I also move up my spear back to shoot down his Heath Rider and hopefully cause some panic check because he's without the range of his BSB on that flank. On this flank I stay back with my whole line. The further I can keep him away, the better on this flank, because I don't want his flying fast cav unit behind my lines. I did get off a great magic phase. You can see the Pathfinder are gone missing in the forest. I 5 dice despair on his lord. He didn't dispel it, and I got off 5 out of 6 wounds on his dragon the first turn. So that's really nice for me. A bit unfortunate for him, but yeah, unfortunately that things can happen if you are playing with large monster. Well, shooting, most of the things were out of range. My spearback rolled poorly on his Heath Riders and only killed one of them. So over to his turn. You can see here he moves up pretty aggressively with his Carousel Knights, and as well as his Eagle stay back with his Heath Rider a bit. His Tree Father is also as well staying back. On this flank as well he pushes up a bit, not too aggressively, but a bit with his unit at least. So I'm pretty glad I stayed back so he couldn't flew behind my lines. Now I at least get a turn to move up and try to poison his Eagle to death and keep his Heath Rider and Crystal Knights away from behind on my line for one more turn at least. And for magic he got off 4 dice, give blessing to his Force Guard, roll a 5 on the miscast, and blew up like 5 of his archer, and his level 4 suffers a wound, but he did get a token on his dragon. So for the dinosaur's second turn, I have got the brilliant plan of holding the middle with everything I got, and let him surround me, but don't give him any good charges on my weak unit, trying to pick off the Carousel Knights and those kind of dangerous stuff. So you can see here I basically just keeping the middle and trying to protect my back rank with the big dinosaurs, and hopefully I can spear his lord off with my Stygiosar this turn. On this flank, basically I'm gonna throw away the skin counters. Hopefully they can do a couple of wounds to that Eagle. I will use my spearback. I only got 1 remaining because he shoot down one of them in his turn. His shooting wasn't too harmful for me. I think he killed a Cayman and 1 spearback, but that's it. I moved the spearback to the flank of his Crystal Knights. Hopefully I can do some wounds on them. So that's the plan on this flank. And here I move up, and my plan here is hopefully, if I'm lucky, I can do some wounds on the Eagle. His Eagle will have to charge me, and hopefully I can kill him on standing shoot, and maybe even in closing combat if I'm very lucky. Well, magic didn't do much because he throws in his scroll and stopped the spear, and that was basically everything I tried to cast. I think I tried to cast a fireball, but he dispelled that. So what he does in his turn, he didn't charge those skinks. He flew over them with the Heath Crystal Knights, which I think is a good move. So now he is behind my lines, which is harmful. His Eagle charges my Salamander, and I think I might win this combat if I'm lucky. Otherwise I will break because I got a pretty shit in a leadership, even if I got Cold Blood at least, so that's something. Over here his Eagle charges my skin counter unit, and will probably make short work of them. His Crystal Knights move out of the arc of my Triscutus and are in a good position to mop up my back ranks. And that's his movement. He pretty much stay back with all of his other unit. I think his level 4 moved to a other archer unit because there are not too many remaining in that first unit. Yeah, he killed those skinks. I think basically his archer and he tried to shoot at them. 1 was remaining, and then his lord just sniped the last skink out. In combat, this eagle manages to, I think I didn't do anything to him, he might have done a wound to me. I break and he placed them corner to corner, so I would run off the board if I will break, and I did. So my spearback riders are out. But this skink holds. I manages to do a wound, I lose by 1, and I pass my break check, thankfully. So for my turn 3, I take a bit of a gamble. I put my Triscutus in front of his Celestial Knights without even knowing how good they really are. He is largest height, so he is hiding my Salamander from view of his Celestial Knights. The other Triscutus and the Skink Bunker unit moves out of the way of his flying monstrous cav. Otherwise I stand pretty much as I am with my whole army. I'm pretty much having my whole army in the middle now, so yeah, keeping guard of the center line is what I will do for the next couple of turns. And this is actually the only picture I have of more on my turn, because I didn't do anything of value, to be honest. I did try to ambush spear his lord. It did get through, but he got off the blessing on him last turn, so yeah, he passed his ward. This eagle breaks my skink unit and he runs them down. So over to the Sylvan Elf, turn number 3. Well, this picture must be out of order. I must have done a lot of damage to the Crystal Knights unit and he only got one of them remaining, but he passes his panic and stay. Well, this is actually the only picture I have of his turn. His one remaining Crystal Knights fly and hide behind a building, and he shoots down some stuff. I think he had killed 2 of my Caimans by this time. This is of course after combat with the Triscutus. I did 4 wounds, he did 3. He hit much harder than I expected, but it's a draw, so we both stick, and probably next turn he isn't hitting so bad. I could probably, hopefully, kill that Crestland Knights if I'm lucky. So for my turn, yeah, I pretty much guard the middle. Noticeably, I have 1 remaining Skink Hunter, everyone else is dead. I move him up to try to kill off the eagle, causing a panic bubble. Move my Salamander up to, if he cannot do it, finish off the job. But otherwise I pretty much stay still. I pivot my last cannon Triscutus to shoot his Heath Rider if I got some power dice remaining from amber spearing his dragon. But that's it for my movement in turn 4. Magic, I got pretty low on dice, he dispels my amber spear. But in shooting phase, I did manage to kill off the eagle, causing a panic on the Pathfinder, and they run off the board. The Heath Rider unfortunately stay, but they do take some heavy losses from the Salamander fire. In closing combat, he didn't manage to kill me, and my Triscutus turn around using his crushing attack and send that bird flying. Well, I did not have any picture of his turn 5, but you can see here he have in the left corner he got a Crystal Knights who have moved around, so I basically moved all my Triscutus and my Skink unit to shoot at him, as well as my Salamander. He have moved up his Tree Father a bit, and he have tried to move away his dragon, but he's still within spear range. Magic didn't do much. I think he got a 5-up ward on his dragon again, but and he also did off the Arcane Dissolution on my Stegosaurus and did plunk off a wound on him as well. So that's it. Was it for his turn. So my turn, you can see here I'm trying to protect the middle. I moved up the Stegosaurus to keep within 24 inches of the dragon. I reformed my Cayman into 3x2 ranks, because it looks cooler if I don't need that weight to keep them up on the hill. And yeah, that's it for my movement, still keeping the middle ground. And now I did manage to Amber Spear his Dragon Lord to death. He failed his ward save and he died. Fortunately for me, the miscut wasn't too bad. I got power drain, so I basically just lost all of my spell, which isn't too bad. I have done what I wanted with the Stegosaur. And here I did manage to kill off the last Crestial Knights with all of this Javelin and Shortbow fire. Well, this was kind of a bad mistake I did in my turn. I eyeballed Litten, thought it was a pretty long charge for his Tree Father to get into my swarms, but it wasn't, and he did that charge, and if he can manage to kill all of my swarms, he gets into the back of my bunker unit, and that isn't good at all. So hopefully my swarm will survive with 1 wound remaining, or something, hopefully. Well, he only managed to do 2 wounds. Then I struck back and I got 10 attacks and I got like 9 poison hits, and that's it for his Tree Father. I think his Tree Father have suffered 2 wounds from a fireball earlier, but yeah, some pretty dumb luck saved my ass this time. So my turn 6, I'm in my lead, I don't want to bleed points. The Stegosaur have suffered 2 wounds, one from, I think he cast another Arcane Dissolution on him, and as well as some Bowfire, so he had taken 3 wounds, so I decided to hide him behind the hill. Otherwise I stay still. I throw my Jungle Swarm in front of his Forest Guardian, so they cannot do some final charge in the last turn. He could potentially break one of my units, which would make me run away, and then he could just take the middle ground, so I don't want that to happen, so I just chaff him up. Otherwise I don't really do much of moving. So that's it for my movement, turn 6. I think the Stegosaur managed to spit those 2 guys remaining here to death. And this is the final picture of the game. What he did manage to do, he charges the swarm and he will kill them outright. But that's it. So it was a very fun game to play the Sylvan Elf. I think he played very good for being the first time. I played this guy a lot in Warhammer, and he was pretty good then. But he did a really good job with his Sylvan Elf. I think we discussed after that his Tree Father was a little bit out of place in this list, but otherwise I think he played good. So especially if you are a veteran Sylvan Elf player, give me some feedback and I will talk with him about it, and that's it. So feel free to comment anything you want. Start liking and subscribing if you haven't already, and that's it. Have a nice one.